Alright, welcome back everyone. I'm Sephiroth, and today we will be gathering all the companions that you can find in the initial few steps of Baldur's Gate 3. There are quite a few companions throughout the entire storyline. Most of them you'll find by the end of Act 1. The first one we're going to find is Shadowheart. And while I have done the tutorial an unseemly number of times, and I got a little hasty in the last episode, we're going to try and slow down a little bit so those of you that are new to this can enjoy the stunning graphics and the great voice acting of the various characters. So without further ado, don't forget to give a like to the video and subscribe, and let's talk a little bit with Shadowheart. Alright, it's very suspicious. I'm conscious, holding another suspicious artifact. Somehow I think trying to kiss the princess in this case would get me disemboweled. That's a possibility. I already know she really likes her privacy, so we're just going to go ahead and wake her. I might do a second playthrough on a different character, and that character might be more of an a-hole. This one is going to be a neutral good playthrough, so we're just going to wake her instead of potentially trying to rob her. That will come at a different
You're alive. I'm alive. How is this possible?
I was hoping you might know that, seeing as how you're the one with the mysterious-looking artifact.
I remember the ship. I remember falling. Then nothing.
I guess everyone got dumped out of the ship, not just me. Let's see, do you have any idea where we are?
No, I don't recognize this place. But anything's an improvement on where we just came from.
That is quite true.
First things first, we need supplies, shelter, and most of all, a healer. We might have escaped, but we still have these little monsters in our heads.
That is no joke. Let's see, you want to stay together?
We need each other, and we both know what's at stake. Can't think of better company.
Yeah, rescuing her really changes her tune about you. We might leave her in the pod next time, and then she'll be a little bit less warm in our presence. Alright, let's get moving. Now, the nice thing about this particular version of Baldur's Gate is you have a lot more freedom than you did in earlier episodes, or earlier versions, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Because here we could actually just part ways and be like, nope, bye-bye, and she'll just be gone. But in this case, we're going to keep her, because she's a healer that can smash things with her
just before we go. I wanted to thank you again for freeing me. It would have been all too easy for you to run right past my pod, but you didn't. I'll remember that. Lead the way.
Standard rule of D&D, always be friends with the healer. That is the one person that you do not want to be thinking like, you know what, I don't really need you in my life. So I'm using the Alt hotkey, and that highlights some of the objects you can interact with. Not all of them, so obviously I can still interact with this wooden barrel, but it is a helpful thing to hit to get the most expensive items, that kind of thing. So we're going to grab this little pouch over here. I'm kind of slipping into my Fallout / Skyrim loot everything I possibly can mode, so bear with me, because eventually all this is going to be sold and get us some gold, which will be very helpful to get us some better items and spells. One of these days I'm going to actually look at all this loot that I've been looting and figure out what to do with it all. But for now, we're just going to continue around this corner. There's some extra. So that notice that just popped up was for something called camp supplies. The way that they handle recovery in this game, healing, is you gather food, and rather than it healing you when you eat it on the spot, like in Skyrim, it contributes to a certain number of camp supply points. Once you have more than 40, you're able to do a long rest, and that fully heals your character. So that's very important for a lot of spellcasting classes that only get their spells back on a long rest.
Fresh water. There must be a settlement nearby.
We'll keep our eyes open for a second. As we can see, Red Apple gives you more camping supplies. So I think it's 40 camping supplies for a long rest, and then if you use the resting menu here, you get 2 short rests, and then you have to take a long rest. As you can see, I've already got quite a few. I already got over 100 camp supplies, so we are able to at least we know that we can rest in the case that things got potentially bad. I'm actually trying to double check and make sure I haven't lost anything on the shoreline. Nope, looks good. Because over here, they actually brought in some alchemy into the game.
I'll take that.
So you want to keep an eye out for plants and mushrooms and that sort of thing that you can eventually distill into potions of your own making, which can save you quite a bit of money, because potions can be rather expensive. Actually, if you do a transmutation wizard, you can potentially, it's called a skill check, you can potentially get twice as many potions back every time you do some alchemy, which is obviously super helpful. This is the first of a series of waypoints that you'll be able to use to get from point A to point B. It's not too useful now because we only got the one location. We can go to our camp and we can go to this one spot. We're going to unlock a bunch more as we move through the area, but it's just good to know that that is there and that is how that works. Alrighty. We have another abducted combat. Alright, so we've got a couple more of these guys up ahead. We're not going to worry too much about them because this is actually
more of those wretched things.
There we go. Okay, so they ran back into the shelter of that little structure. We're going to pop the hide and see if they've fixed a certain bug. Okay, so that red area there that's growing, that's their sight cone. That's what they can see.
On my way.
If you're in stealth outside of the sight cone, they will never see you. But if you're in stealth, see, she was not in stealth, and they saw her. So, oh, geez, no. Enter turn-based mode. Woo! Okay, so, oh wait, now what's happening?
Let's end this.
Should have
We're
worn
gonna
better
shoot
boots.
somebody real quick.
Vicious
Let's,
filth. Best keep some distance, or this will be a short fight.
yeah, this is a bug they haven't cleaned up yet. They were not supposed to see me when they saw me, but they did see me somehow magically, even though I was not in their sight range. Hopefully we will still be able to survive this. We're about to find out. Let's see. So option 1. Okay, so a couple of things when you're using, I haven't really done the tutorial, it'll show you guys all these buttons do. You got spells over in this side, and then physical attacks and abilities are on this side. And for some reason her extra fireball cantrip comes up over here. Not sure why. So we've already used a bonus action to cast a spell called Shield of Faith that will boost her armor class. So she will be harder to hit. Given that these guys are nasty and we've only got one spell slot left, we're going to go ahead and try a guiding. Well, it has a 90% chance to hit even though it's at disadvantage. So that might actually work out. There we go. So the reason I smoked the guy closest to us is when they're that close, they get an attack of opportunity if you try to get away from them. But this way, we're able to go ahead and get away without having too many
Don't mind me.
Now, if you would be so kind as to Yes, let's go for strength. That is the wrong button. We're going to nerf that guy's strength. There we go. Okay, so now that he's thrown in an attack, that adds him to the initiative. So we can take a pot shot at this guy. Didn't kill him, but
Waste
took
a
a chunk
step.
out of him. Okay, this is what we want. So we've got our tank in between us and the nasty things that want to eat/kill us, which is the best we can hope for. Forces them to use their dash action to get in close. Hopefully they won't have an attack action left over. Oh, that one took things personally and just came right after me. That's lovely. This one is going after Shadowheart. Okay, this is complicated because if she takes a step towards this one, she'll probably get, this one will probably get a free hit on her. So let's try, oh, come on, 2 damage? That's not going to help. Let's see, so this is a fun little trick. We're going to get closer to this edge here, and we're going to attempt a shove attack. It's going to be opposed athletics check, so we'll see. Nope, it dodged. So, lovely. Okay, well, we can still do our thing here. Let's see, is this the one that I hexed? It's not the one I hexed. So that one I'm going to do extra damage to. But this one is the one coming after me. Lae'Zel takes an action. Okay, I think if I can force him to dash after me one more time, then I hopefully will be able to get off one more shot before he gets in melee range, because they do hurt. Oh, okay. Well, they're just going to double team her. She's tanking. Oh, good. Whew. She is tanking successfully. That is what we like to see. You down dog. There we go. Alright, who's next?
Catch my breath.
There we go. Getting nice and close. All that's left is the one that we hex. That will actually have extra damage. There we go. Okay.
Perhaps our survival isn't such a distant
So if you're new to the
prospect.
game, keep someone with heavy armor or a shield or some kind of defensive options in between you and the squishies and the bad guys. That's a really good standard D&D 101 don't want to die strategy. As you get more experience with different classes, you'll figure out your own combinations, your own strategies, and things that work for you. But for now, it is wise just to put someone tanky and armored in between you and whatever's trying to kill you. That's a pretty good standard rule of thumb. This is an interesting point. Surfaces. One of the fantastic things they did with this game is a lot of the environment can be interacted with in a number of ways. So, for example, we're going to go to Shadowheart because I know she's got a firebolt. And we're going to use firebolt on the mysterious liquid surface. Which turns out is combustible. So if we had been able to sneak up over here like I wanted, I was going to ignite this area and burn all of the ones that were close by.
Still
It would have been pretty.
So that's progress.
But all things considered, we got out alive. So I'm just going to take that for the grain of salt that it is, and life's good. Alright, meanwhile, we have our characters here on the side, so it allows you to quickly hop from whichever character is currently in play.
No time to
This
rest.
glowing arrow is one of the happiest things you will ever see in the game because it means you can now level up, which is key to this build. Warlocks you will commonly see doing a 2-level dip for this very reason. Because now we get Eldritch Invocations, which are permanent modifications to your Warlock character. So first off, we've got a new spell to pick. Let's see. So I'm a bit torn between Expeditious Retreat, which allows us to... Oh, geez, that works until a long rest. That is now very tempting. They have enhanced the duration on that thing. Protection against good and evil is also until a long rest. Ooh, that is very tempting. Those last a good long time. Let's see. So we can either be protected from various creatures, fae, elementals, fiends, undead, or we can just be wicked fast. We're going to go with wicked fast because the invocations I'm going for. The first one is Agonizing Blast, which will add my charisma bonus to my Eldritch Blast damage, which will be so pretty. And then we're also going to add in Repelling Blast. This is my favorite because Eldritch Blast, when it hits, can push a creature up to 4.5 meters away from you. It gives us a lot of battlefield control. So the idea is if I can already keep them away from me, or I can already have enough movement to stay away, and I can also use an invocation to knock them away, I can hopefully not have to rely on armor for the foreseeable future. Now, Warlocks get very few spells, so you have the option of sacrificing one spell you've already learned and switching out for another, but we're not going to have to worry about that. Mainly, I'm giving you 2 levels of Warlock just for that Eldritch Blast that has a push effect, because yes, please. Now, we've got our lovely little cleric here. Let's see. She's automatically going into Arcane Trickster. She now has a Turn Undead ability, which could be useful later. Invoke Duplicity is a little situational, but it can give you advantage on your attacks in melee, which is really nice. She can now use Channel Divinity, which is going to be helpful. We can modify the number of spells that she has prepared. I think I'm actually still pretty happy with what's here, because you've got, well, I'm tempted to keep a high damage melee spell, but as primarily a healer / buffer, I might not be using spell slots for that, because we will have other characters that will be prioritizing melee. We might just for this round, we could try Command. I've heard there's some interesting things you can do with Command, assuming the enemy fails their saving throw. That's the catch there. There's a couple of different ways you can manipulate your enemies into a position where you're going to win. One of them is called debuffs, which usually means the enemy is rolling against your spell ability, and if they fail, you succeed, you do your trick. But there are other spells called battlefield control spells that don't involve a DC check at all, that can also be pretty helpful, like fog cloud that can just blind things. Okay, so here's our tutorial on how to lock stuff, or not lock stuff. We're going to first thing, this is a useful little trick. So Shadowheart has a cantrip called Guidance. This gives you a 1d4 to your ability checks. So I'm going to have her give me Guidance, and then I'm going to use an ability check, which is to pick this lock.
In it.
So this is how your ability checks tend to go. You've got your Thieves' Tools that allows you to actually make the check. I have +2 to my Dexterity, that's going to add to the die roll, and then 1d4 from Guidance. So it gives you the total bonus, 3 to 6, and the difficulty class that we're trying to beat is 5. So we have a very strong chance of fitting this. And with that, it puts us, we also got a +3, but it was enough. We were able to unlock this. I have never been in the situation where I ran out of Thieves' Tools. Usually you have those in quite a bit of abundance. Speaking of abundance, we're going to grab us some belladonna and murderess. And I'm going to wait until we have quite a bit of a stockpile of herbs and such before I start actually brewing any alchemy with them. Okay, we're going to continue following the road up this way. I'm continuously hitting Alt looking for plants that I can pick, but I don't see any more in the immediate area. Here's our compadre number 3. He's quite the charmer. You're about to find out.
Very well.
Hurry! I've got one of those brain things cornered. There, in the grass. You can kill it, can't you? Like you killed the others?
Why not go for pompous and confident? Easily. Stand back.
There. Can you see it?
That is not a brain thing.
Just a dumb boar.
Ooh,
You're
we
relieved
succeeded on
until
the
you see the flash of a dagger.
Oh, that's good. We didn't get tackled. Okay, let's see. This is a robbery. You're off to a bad start. I like that.
I just need information. I saw you scuttling about on the ship. You're in league with them, aren't you? Those tentacle... Ah!
Your mind twists. You're looking out of unfamiliar eyes, prowling dark, busy streets. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm. The light. The fear.
What was that? What's going on?
I mean, it is nice that the worm just immediately handles all introductions. It's like, oh, we're friends. Okay, we're in the same boat. Good to know. No one's going to accidentally kill. We're not going to accidentally kill one of each other's just because of all this. Okay, it's the Mind Flayer's worm. It connected us. That seems like the best way to talk that out. Ironically, one option is put the knife away. Well, the knife is already away, so let's do
The worm. Of course. That explains things somewhat. And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards. Apologies.
Well, that comment's going to get, dished up. Apology accepted. I might have done the same were the roles reversed. Might as well let him know we can't be pushed around.
A kindred
Shadowheart
spirit.
approves.
My name's Astarion. I was in Baldur's Gate when those beasts snatched me.
And you are from Baldur's Gate as well. I think this is just a standard introduction. I think it's based on race, though. I think there might be a couple of races that aren't automatically Baldurian, but all the ones that I've played are. Introduce yourself. You're a Baldurian, too.
Is that so? We clearly move in different circles. So, do you know anything about these worms?
Yes, unfortunately, they'll turn us into mind flayers.
Turn us into... Of course it'll turn me into a monster. What else did I expect? Although, it hasn't happened yet. If we can find an expert, someone that can control these things, there might still be time.
Control it? We need to get rid of it. Or just immediately offer him into the camp. That's a possibility. You should travel with me. Odds better together, why not?
You know, I was ready to go this alone, but maybe sticking with the herd isn't such a bad idea. And you seem like a useful person to know. All right. I accept. Lead on.
I won't give you any spoilers, but obviously he's not entirely human? You'll find out. Not giving any spoilers in case this is new for one of you, or two of you are all hidden. Alright, your party is shown on the side of that. Okay, we're skipping ahead here. He's auto-leveling up because we just brought him into our party. That's another nice thing about Baldur's Gate, is whenever you bring in a new companion, they automatically come up to your level. So once they're like level 5 or 6, they'll automatically be brought up to our level once they join our party. This little gentleman here is now a level 2 rogue, which is useful to have because they are good at the stabby. We'll go over that once we get into a little more combat. I'm just slipping into this area to make sure I haven't missed any loot.
What's inside?
Waste not, want not. I am one greedy little Baldurian. I'm going to try to go around this burning area here. Okay, let's go ahead and save, because I'm not quite sure how bad that's going to go. There's a mind flayer over there. Usually I just snipe him from here, but just to explore the story a little bit, we're going to tempt fate and try to communicate.
You approach the dying monster. This is the thing that abducted you. You could end its life here and now, if only you didn't feel compassion. Compassion?
I should have asked Shadowheart to guidance me before I did this. We can either give in to the compassion, this isn't right, step away, or you should be furious, shouldn't you? Yeah, let's go ahead and try and fight it.
Yes, you feel hate. And you deserve to be punished for it.
What?
You should be whipped, made to bow before this creature in shame.
That is not what I meant to click.
It's possessing your mind, forcing you to love it. But then the feeling slips. The creature's mind seems to focus elsewhere.
Either concentrate on its thoughts, but I don't have intelligence. I am not a wizard, so let's not tempt fate with my +0 modifier and just
The
go ahead and
monster
wait.
lies exhausted, defeated. Its eyes, wet orange pearls, radiate malice.
Close those eyes forever, just to be thorough. Also, I think it's good therapy. Just to make sure it's very clear to the little
Death
worm
is
in
too
your
good
head
for it.
that that's the direction things are going to go if it doesn't play nice. And okay, I think we can head on out of this tutorial area. Either jump over that burning section there, or bodies to loot. Definitely going for the bodies to loot.
Dead goblins over there. Worth checking for supplies, maybe.
I will always be willing to check for supplies. And just a little hint here, it's good to grab guidance before you start. Just because you'll find out. We have our next waypoint, which is malfunction.
What's going on with that
It's
room?
something that disagrees with it.
You approach the sigil on the stone. Magic glitters and swirls from it erratically, as if malfunctioning. It looks slightly dangerous.
Sigil.
A hand? Anyone?
That's trusting. I don't know if I'd want to shove my hand in front of the face of goblins. Alright, we can either talk through it, but I have a feeling he's, in trouble. However, because I am a warlock and I have charisma on my side, that's probably more reliable than strength. And that still gives us +3, plus... Ooh, this one plus... Ooh, glad that rolled high. Alright, let's get this guy out of here.
Whatever you're doing is working wonders. Now a quick little pull should do the trick.
Such a clever way to introduce him, because it used to be he just like bamfed out of the portal and said hi, and instead you get to try and pull him out. Since he's level like 2 anyway, it makes sense.
Oh. Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep. Apologies. Usually better at this.
No need to apologize. Are you alright?
A bit shocked, but friend, it's a relief and a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the Norse Lloyd as well.
Ah, that was, yes. Although I do want to know how he was stuck in there.
I don't know what transpired exactly, but the ship broke into pieces and I suddenly found myself in freefall. As I was plummeting to certain death, I spied a glimmer quite near where I estimated my body to impact with less than savory propulsion. Recognizing this glimmer to be magical in nature, I reached out to it with a weaving of words and found myself on the other side, as it were. How about you? How did you survive the fall?
That's kind of... I took control of the ship, landed safely, and saved the day. Right. Honesty is probably
Fair
best,
enough.
honestly, here.
But even so, I have the unfortunate suspicion your survival is still very much in jeopardy. Back on the ship, you too were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insertion in the ocular region. Were you not?
You couldn't have phrased it more repellently myself.
No use sugarcoating it, is there? The insertee we speak of, this parasite, are you aware that after a period of excruciating gestation, it will turn us into mind flayers? It's a process known as ceramorphosis, and let me assure you, it is to be avoided.
One would...
You
yeah.
don't happen to be a cleric by any chance, do you? A doctor? Surgeon? Uncannily adroit with a knitting needle?
When you're desperate.
You seem to know enough about our condition to realize it's beyond most clerics' skills.
Most, no doubt, but I find myself hoping to be in the presence of the few. You don't happen to be one of them.
Warlock. My patron offers me many gifts, but tadpole extraction is not one of them.
As we've established, few enough can. It's not exactly a common affliction. We're most certainly going to need a healer, and soon, too. How about we lend each other a helping hand once more and look for a healer together?
Sounds like a plan. You are welcome to join me.
Most excellent. A parasite shared is a parasite halved. Or something to that effect. Oh, but before you think you're about to embark on a journey with most ill-mannered a man, thank you for pulling me out of that stone. It was an act of foresighted kindness, I assure you. For I have the feeling ample opportunities will present themselves for me to return the favor.
That's not far off. Oh yes, and we can level him up. He's the first one that we get to really play with. Because I have plans for him. So at level 2, you get to choose the subclass, and it's already automatically selected evocation. Wizards, there's so much replay value for wizards, because you can play with all of these different subclasses. They're all so much fun. But we're grabbing evocation because it has this little thing called sculpt spells. Basically, he can carpet bomb the party, and none of the party members get hurt, which is really, really helpful if you're being swarmed by bad guys that all want you dead. Meanwhile, we're definitely getting him shield. He should already have mage armor. We're just going to do a quick check. Yep, that looks good. And we definitely want grease. I just want to make sure he already knows that spell. Okay, we're good there. His primary utility, primary usefulness, is going to be blowing the crap out of stuff without hurting anyone near him that he doesn't want to hurt. We could either use Ice Knife for that or Burning Hands. You know, just for the sake of utility, let's go ahead and grab Featherfall for emergencies. Oh, I better check the spells he had prepared. Dang it.
No rest.
Let's see what we do have. Oh, we've got Grease already. That's helpful. And Thunder Wave is another good one. We're definitely going to be starting him off with Mage Armor because things try to kill us pretty regularly. Okay. Alright, so while we're making our way here, we're just going to do a quick detour and see if we can't find any other little delicacies that can be picked. I don't see a whole lot. Rogue's Morsel, that's a good one. Alright, so we've got a couple of options here. There's these ruins, which is the next fight area. If you go into the ruins, you can actually get to level 3 by the time you get out. Level 3 by the time you get out, or just very close to level 3. Depends a little bit on how much XP you get. We're going to go grab one more compadre over here. Oh, wait. Yeah, give me my guidance. Do I have enough? Do not have enough.
Of course it's one of the
There we go. Okay. Our little gift friend got caught up here, and I wanted guidance for this check.
Zora was right. Yellow as a toad, twice as ugly.
The thing's dangerous. Leave it for the goblins to kill.
And if it escapes, how will you... Oh, a guest.
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips don't move, yet you hear her voice. Get rid of them.
Let's see. We are equally skilled at persuasion and deception, but I like the deception because it encourages them to leave. Because this creature's dangerous, get out of here, leave it to me. If we do persuasion, you can persuade them to shoot the trap down, but then they stay and shooting at her, and we want them to leave. So we're going to try that. So I've got pretty high modifier between my charisma and my deception. So this is cool. Guidance literally saved the day right there. This is why we get guidance, because that +2 on average can be
He's
enough.
right. Let's go. We need to check out that blast.
A blast? I could use more specifics.
You didn't hear it. Shook our camp good, so we came for a look.
Persuasion. I'm in dire need of healing. Where is this camp? That will be useful to know. And easily got enough. This is why I went with a persuasion or a charisma caster, because they do much better interacting with NPCs than a wizard that doesn't have these kind of affinities.
Northwest. Look for Nettie. Whatever your wound, she can mend it.
And be careful. There are goblin traps everywhere.
Nymessa, come.
Enough gawking. Get me down.
Now that they're out of earshot, sure. We're not going to antagonize her, because she is...
More for me. Can't slow down.
Well, she's not the
Observe
nicest.
and
Not the
listen.
nicest crayon in the box.
Get me down.
Yeah, we can pick up that shortbow while we're here. Is there anything else really quick to loot? Doesn't look like it. Let's go ahead and just pop. Make sure you're hitting the base, not her, for obvious reasons. There we go. Okay.
The tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious. But the longer we wait, the more it consumes. My people possess the cure for this infection. I must find a creche. You will join me.
Careful. She obviously sees your kindness as weakness. Don't let her take advantage.
Let's see. And what exactly is a creche?
It is many things. A hatchery, a training grounds, a shelter. Githyanki protocol is clear. When infected with a Gale tadpole, we must report to Augustil for purification.
Alright, we've journeyed together. Let's find this creche.
You are full up. Dismiss your weakest warrior.
Wait at my camp. I think that's... Yeah, I'm gonna tempt fate.
Very well. But heed my words. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. One there, this Zoru, has seen Githyanki. A creche must be near. I must interrogate this Zoru. Our very lives depend on it. I will be at your camp. Do not keep me waiting.
Alright, so keep in mind, when you get to the camp that these two tieflings were telling us about, we'll have to remember to bring her along so that she can follow her journal quest thing and do her little interrogation. Not that she is the most skilled at nuance and not terrifying people, but you'll see what I mean. Okay, so this is our starting party that we decided to start with. We could have switched someone out for Lae'Zel, because she's a pretty strong frontliner and does a decent amount of damage, given that she's a fighter. But we're going to try keeping Shadowheart on the front lines instead as our main tank, and then the three of us, 2 spellcasters and a rogue, are going to see if we can do, well, how much damage we can do. Alright, I think that is it for today, because once I get over to these ruins and start the party, it's going to get bloody very quickly. So this is a good place as any to save and wrap up for the evening.
Best be on my way.
I hope you guys have enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3 so far. I highly recommend it, particularly if you've played the original 1 and 2 from the 90s. This is just so much better than those. Oh, it's fantastic. Also, the replay value with different character concepts and stuff is super fun. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see any kind of tutorials or guides or walkthroughs for specific parts of this game, whether it be character creation, what kind of spells are most effective, or even guides on how to get through certain levels. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to y'all later. Take care.